This is my first sewing video, so I hope this works. I want to show you how to, oh, you know what? I'm going to change my thread color so you can see what I'm doing better. As you can see here, I just cut out an A and a heart, and I have the Wonder Under on it, and then I pressed it on, so that's all ready to go. But I thought, well, you know, if I have dark thread, you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. So let's try orange. I like orange. And it'll show up on both of those. So here, we're gonna thread the machine. And I was also like looking on Pinterest for just like animals, and they have like really basic animal shapes that are really cute. And I was almost gonna do that, show you that, but it's easy. If you get looking and you want to add something with the A, I mean, I was thinking like you could have like this kitty. It's sort of just an outline with, well, I can send them to you if you're interested, or a bear, or a I forget what the other ones were that looked kind of cute. I thought they were just super like outliney and basic and would be really cute. There's my thing. Turn my machine on. I got my new machine back, but I'm still sewing, so I haven't even set it up. This is my older machine, and I might have to relearn my new machine. It's been so long. Okay. So here I go. I'm going to do the heart first. That's easier because it's just one swoop. So since it's got like a point like this, I'm going to start here. But yeah. All right. No, you know what? I think I'll start on the bottom. Because usually you can see where you start and stop. I usually put it at the bottom just because threads overlap a little bit more. And so you want to set your machine to your zigzag, and the width of your zigzag this way is just personal preference. I mean, you should have it at least so it goes, you know, you want it to go across pretty well. And I usually, sometimes if it's a bigger object, this is a, you know, a little medium-sized sort of heart, I might make it like that big. You don't want it to be huge. You just want it to cast off both places fine. So you can just like practice on your machine and see what the width of your stitch you want. Now the length of your stitch, I know we talked about it, but I forget what yours does. Mine I can dial all the way down to 0, which makes it a standstill. For instance, here I'm gonna show you my machine. See if you can see what mine looks like. I'm gonna move this for a second here. So here's the length of my stitch, and this is where I, you know, 2.5 is normal. Now you can see this. That's a buttonhole. So now you can imagine then how close those stitches are. So I don't know if yours, in your directions, you probably have, they tell you how to do a buttonhole. So that's fairly close. Your zigzag, it's actually a little tiny zigzag, a buttonhole. You know, mine, I'm going to put it somewhere between 0 and 1. And I'm going to probably put it a little closer. It just depends how close you want the stitches together. I'm going to set mine there. So let's put this back. Can you see? I don't know if you can see. Yeah, I think you can see. Okay. So you start at one point, and you can, let's see, you can even, you know, instead of like just practicing, if you wind your like I'm doing, I'm winding it forward and then winding it back, you can see where they're going to land without sewing. See, I see it's going to be there, and then that one's just going to overcast just right. So that looks pretty good to me. And on mine, the width is 4. So let's start. So, and you don't need to back stitch because you're going to actually be going over these stitches. So here we go. And that looks, well, I think I'm going to make it a little closer. There we go. So you're basically just running this zigzag, and where the needle is just overcasting on the side of this fabric. So that's how you just want to, that's the line you want to follow. So when you're zigzag, look at this dust. Hey, get that dust off. Okay. When your zigzag comes this way, have your needle follow the line of this fabric, okay? So here I go. And you know, the wonderful thing about just this is that it's so not a big deal. Can you see it? So you want your stitches to be close, you know, close enough so that, yeah, your fabric doesn't fray. Even though it's ironed on, it'll still kind of, that edge is the glue through washing might come out, you know, whatever. So I just kind of curve it, go around, and you'll see even here, I'm getting to this point, so it's a hard turn. So I'm going to put it down on the left side in this case, and then just lift up my foot and turn my fabric. See my needle's down, and go this way. Now here you can see probably, see I missed that. You know, it wasn't perfect. It's so okay. Not a big deal. Now you may want to like cut this off now, because once you go over that, you can't really take that thread out. So I'll cut those off. Woo, vibration. I'm not sure what that's doing to that. Okay. So here, now I backstitched just a hair, you know, just for my last one, but that's what you got. It's not perfect, but it's all, you can see this is appliqué. And on those baby quilts, I do that. If you look and you see posted, I mean, the bulk of the stuff I do is appliquing like this. It's so easy. And you can see the back, my tension isn't perfect at all, but it doesn't matter. The front's good. Okay, excuse me. Now I'm going to do your A. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all around the outside, and then I'll do the inside. So I'll probably start it at the bottom somewhere. So here we go. I'll leave it the same. Though, you know, if I'm doing something, appliquing something very tiny, then I make the stitches narrower, obviously. Otherwise, the stitch would cover the whole fabric if it's like a really tiny little thing I'm doing. But here we go. So you can like take some of that, you've already under like a section, you know, of that fabric. So you can just cut out little circles or hearts or whatever and practice appliquing on some scrap fabric. This is like duck cloth. It's like it's like painter's drop cloth kind of stuff. I have, okay, here we go. But it's just a nice thicker kind of fabric, not as thick as your denim, but somewhere in between. It's hard to applique on something thin. If it's a really thin fabric, and this is why, because you're doing this zigzag, 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 and so it'll tend to pull your fabric like this. But this is so heavy and the weight is good that, you know, the fabric's going to lay flat. It's not going to pucker. So, I mean, if you don't try to applique really on anything thin, like the lining you have or something you can see through, you can applique on just a cotton. This is just a cotton, regular cotton, and that works. If you applique on a knit, you'll notice, like if you buy if you see a polo shirt, you know, in a men's like polo shirt, and there's maybe a little like polo, it has like the little horse, the guy on a horseback, you know, the polo guy. You'll notice what they do. Because if you did that on a knit without just the knit fabric, it would just like pucker like crazy. But what they do is they take just a piece of interfacing, they cut out a little square, and then they'll fuse that on the back of the shirt, and then the applique. So this just actually stabilizes that knit so it doesn't pucker so much. So you could, you know, if your fabric's a little thinner, you can stabilize it with something like this. And it's the same kind of thing. All this is only fusible on one side. So it's just called interfacing. So that's what that is. But so I guess you can applique on something thinner as long as you prepare the fabric well. But whoops, sorry about that. Okay, here we go. Let's go. So I'm getting to a corner. You know, I may just like wind that to get that corner right. And I'm gonna leave it on the outside, I think, this time. And if it doesn't come up perfect, you know, I just move it. Look at that. Nobody knows, Anna. Okay, here we go. And I'll cut that when I get a little farther. Okay, there's that corner again. And that corner. Here, let me trim this. Looks so impressive, but you see how easy it is? You just have to figure out the kind of stitch length and stitch width you're happy with, but here we go. So the nice thing I like about applique is you can put on any design you want. So I do. If you go on my sewing page, you'll see all the things I've appliqued. I mean, I can like just use my iPad and put a piece of paper on there and trace pretty much anything I want, and then cut it out, just like you cut your A out. So pretty easy. And people say, "Oh, that looks so creative." And now you know the secret, Anna. It's not hard at all. And it is kind of fun to hear, like, I mean, I kind of actually like this darker thread on this yellow. It just sort of makes the A stand out, right? So now I've got it turned funny, so I'm going to just back it up a little. If I want to get it at a certain point, I hand wind it. I'm a little bit over, so I'm going to lift it up and just scoot it over. There we go. Just a couple back stitches step really quick, and you're done. There's the outside. So very easy. Now let me do the inside. So it's just the same thing in reverse. Well, no, you can do it the right way. Come on, thread. Okay. I'm going to start here, and there we go. And you can do this. These are sharp turns I'm doing, but when you saw when I did a curve, you're just sort of moving it like this. Sorry, my table gets shaky, and I saw the tripod shake, so I hope you don't get dizzy. So there's your A. I could have gone back a little bit farther and filled that, but, you know. So that's the A. Now, for instance, I'm going to show you something really quick. If you want to have, like, if you have a bigger thing and you want something to cross over, here, I'll just cut out like a square or something quick. You could, you know, you could like sew one and then put one on and iron it and then do that too. The disadvantage of that is depending on the, like, if this was a light fabric, let's take this one. If this was a light fabric, you might see, you feel the bumpiness underneath it. So I usually do it different. It just depends. I mean, I don't know if there's a right or wrong. I would iron them both on at the same time. I don't know, can you see that? Yeah, you can see it. And then I would just start here and do this, and then do this thread. Because I probably, you know, if it's going to look like something, there's probably different color threads. So I do this, and then it's flatter underneath. So if you want to overlap shapes, like if you wanted to have a big heart and then have the A kind of over it, you know, a little bit, or if you had, or anything. It could be like if you have the big animal and then you want to have, say this is a kitty and you want to put a nose on him. Then you just, you know, put that on, iron that on. You can't see it here. I'll do a yellow one. And sometimes it's easier to design when you're ironing all at once. Put it on, you know, and then just sew that. But if it's overlapping, then I usually, yeah. I mean, you can see the possibilities. You could put little circles all over. Anything you want to do, just iron it on and then sew around. It's a little harder to do a little tiny circle. Here, let me show you. But it's not harder. I'm just going to make my stitch a little bit narrower. I had it on 4, so I'm going to maybe put it on 3. But like I said, you can put your foot down and then just kind of see where it would be by going back and forth. Can you see? That's not bad. So 3 is pretty good. So here we go. So it's just a lot of tight turning. And the stitches end up being tighter because I didn't adjust the length of the stitch, but it's just because I'm turning so tight that they're kind of overlapping each other. So you could do like if you did an animal, these could be the eyes, and like if this was a pig snout, you could do like and you could take your machine and, you know, make put on 0 here. Say like this was this black thread then, and then make little nose holes like this. See? So, there's your first lesson in applique. So, what you want to do for your bag is you cut your rectangle out. Say this is it. Just pretend it's the right size. You just need to figure, you don't want to put it too close to the edge because you remember you're boxing your corners and it would turn around. So you just want to focus maybe until you get the hang of it, just more in the middle, or maybe just sort of turn it the 2, you know, it's not going to be 2 inches, but something like that. And then just, there's your artistic space right here. And remember the bottom will be turned under 2. So that's how you plan. So you can iron them on, and actually if you iron them on and you don't like them, you can rip it off, but you really can't reuse it. But before you sew it, you can rip it off. And these kind of stitches are a little harder to take out just because there's so many and so close, but it's not earth-shattering either. You can, but okay, there's your lesson.